We break down all the Chicago Bears free agent signings next on the Unbearable Sports Podcast.
Yeah, she's got some nice long.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Happy March Madness Day to everybody out there, and I hope your brackets aren't busted. Hey, pal, this is our first free agent show of the, to just assess what the Bears are doing out there, and we're going to be breaking it down. And I hope the Bears don't sign anybody as we're hopping on, because as we were, I'm frantically trying to put together some graphics because we just signed Deontay Foreman. And so we are breaking down all the free agents, giving them grades, obviously A through F, no pluses, no minuses. It's going to be a great show. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Also, make sure to rate 5 stars everywhere you get your podcast. PayPal, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good, Brett. Yeah, we'll need the people, in the comments section. Be real active. No, please no like fake, we signed like, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers or something, or or something crazy like that. But yeah, just if something does happen, maybe update us or something. But yeah, Brett, it's funny you said March Madness because I kind of forgot. I think I've been so caught up with the Bears off season where I've just been like, oh yeah. Like normally I'm so excited for March Madness. I'm making brackets. Like I've joined like my friends' brackets, whatever. And this year I'm like, I've told some of my friends, I'm like, sorry, I'm kind of focused on the Bears off season. Like I'm not really interested in I'm not really interested in March Madness this year.
Dude, so I feel you with that. Like we're doing a bracket at the office and I totally blanked out, and I filled it out last night. And today I told my wife, I'm working at home, and I'm like, can you get, because we don't have cable, like, can you get like a trial to some streaming service? And she gets it for Fubo TV, which doesn't have True TV, doesn't have TBS, doesn't have TNT.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, crap. So whatever. So I just try and watch like the ends of all the games, but yeah, it's a great time and it'll be interesting. I already saw like Furman with the upset, so it's been crazy. But yeah, let's get this out there. Also, Don Burr, everyone's favorite Lions fan, in the comments. Yeah, you got Monty out there. Congrats. Treat him well out there. So we have a lot to break down in Nano. Yes, I saw Demarcus Walker's press conference. We got to go through that. I love him. I got to just say that up right now. Like that guy.
Yeah. I don't want to, but I'm just thinking like, we need one of those defensive interior guys that's like kind of that Akeem Hicks personality, you kind of need one of those fan favorites. Like, he's a very smart. Yeah. Hey, we won't talk about him too much yet. Well, that's for later.
Yeah, we will. And let's start with the biggest name, right? We have to go big. We have to go with the biggest name, and that's Tremaine Edmonds. And Tremaine Edmonds, right? Like Tremaine Edmonds out there gets the big deal, 4 years, $72 million, $18 million a year. And really, what I could tell you about him, he's entering his 6th season. He's going to be 25 in this season. Like he turns 25 in like a month or two. So everyone's like, he's 24. Yeah, for like 2 months. But still ridiculously young, very talented. And I saw someone comment out there, right? Because they were watching us when we went through the defense. And I know a lot of us out there in the comments too, when we said Tremaine Edmonds was going for 18 mil, we were all like, that's too much. Now, PayPal, we're giving grades on all of this. I just want to kind of say, I kind of stand with what I said before. 18 million is definitely a lot. I think the biggest thing is we bought premium here, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I didn't feel like we needed to go premium with a linebacker. So that's just like kind of where I'm iffy. But what do you think though?
Yeah, I it's hard for me to like kind of be like, cause I'm so excited with just getting a guy like this. Cause I'm watching his interview, watching his highlights, especially like there is a reason why we did pay that premium. Is like he is one of the youngest guys out there in the free agent market and one of the most talented. So it's like that's where I think we probably paid him that much. It is quite a bit of money for a linebacker, but I think this guy could be kind of one of our franchise players. He talked about how, you know, he almost like kind of pushed away that he was a Bills player. Like he kind of is like, I'm a Bear now. And it sounds like he just wants to be a Bear and he wants to be a Hall of Famer as a Bear and kind of join all these linebackers, on Mike Singletary and all these guys like in the Hall of Fame. So when he started talking about kind of just how he wants to, fit in that legacy, I just was like, oh my gosh, this guy is just saying everything so right. I'm just getting way too excited just about a football player, you know what I mean? But it was like, oh my gosh, he he gets me so excited to just watch because he's so explosive, and he creates those highlight plays.
I think that's the big thing. 6'5", 250, 8.5 run stuffs last year. Also, 102 tackles. Not a huge amount of tackles, right? But still, he had Matt Milano right alongside him, a 79 grade according to PFF. And what was so cool, PayPal, I was looking at the Bears roster on PFF, and yeah, it's just grades, but there was a lot more green. Like last year, it was just straight red, straight trash all
Yeah.
across the board. And then I think he's like the 6th highest graded linebacker. And then TJ Edwards is 5. But yeah, the big thing too that I want to just call out, because like just adding a little bit more color to it, I'm not grading this super high. I think Tremaine Edmonds is a great player. It's just the price. Like I still stand on that at least. And now that I'm saying this, I kind of wish we didn't start with Tremaine Edmonds because,
Yeah.
with some others. But let's talk about what he actually is, right? Because you alluded to a lot of it. 6'5", 250. And I think something that some people have really kind of hammered on polls about this is why not just re-sign Roquan? Roquan wasn't a good scheme fit here. Like, he looked the worst that he ever has in the Bears uniform in this system.
Mhm.
And Tremaine Edmonds is the perfect fit for what we need in a linebacker inside of this system. So the premium price tag, but they're trying to hit a home run. Like you said, they're trying to get that next great linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Great athlete, 6.5% missed tackle rate, which is really good at a linebacker position, and 7.8 last year. So he had one really great season last year. It's clear that Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Alan Williams, who has a connection with Leslie Frazier back in his days at the Minnesota Vikings. I guarantee you, he probably was talking to Leslie Frazier saying, "What do you think about Edmonds since he's not at the Bills?" Right? And I think the upside is there, and this is definitely a signing that they wanted to get, that they feel they needed this guy inside of their defense.
Oh yeah, and I think with Eberflus, I remember him talking about the most important position he thinks in his defense is, I mean, we all think he's gonna play at the will, and I mean that's the most important spot Eberflus says on his defense. So might as well spend the most there. And something I love, and I think we'll definitely incorporate him a lot into this scheme because we kind of saw it last year with like Sanborn. Um, is those linebacker blitzes. I saw so many highlights of him just how
Yeah.
quick and how he would disguise it really well. And his like burst is just insane. Like he looks like a safety, like with his speed, but then he's 6'5", 250. Um and like he fits all the criteria. Like he's very physical in the run game and just he can lock down, tight ends as well. Like he's got everything. And I love him so much more than Roquan because yeah, like you were saying,
Yeah.
Roquan just looked out of it last year.
Look lost. Yeah.
He looked lost. He just did not look like he was himself like the first, years we had him and stuff. So I'm glad we passed on because it's frustrating as a fan when you're just trying to be like, all right, when is this guy gonna wake up? And it's just move on, don't try and like get him, hope, pray and hope he gets better. Move on from someone that's showing his talent and comes in with this really positive attitude and all this energy.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. And I heard this before because I was listening to some people talk about why does a linebacker get 18 million versus what we're going to go through with 6.6, right? And the biggest thing is like what you were talking about with the blitzing. You can ask Tremaine Edmonds to do a lot more. It's like with your job, right? This guy can cover. You can ask him to cover. You can ask him to play tight ends, like you were mentioning. You can ask him to blitz. He can do it all. And yeah, watching his tape back, like from last year, it was a very good season.
Fun.
But PayPal and also the chat, how would you grade this signing for Tremaine Edmonds? No minuses and pluses. Let's try to do that.
And that's the difficult part, because that's always where it's like, okay, like I think of it as like an A- or B+, just because it's like he's so talented. But yeah, it's like the money. Like you wish for perfect. But I gotta go with A. I have to go with A just because I love Tremaine Edmonds. I love everything we just talked about. I love moving on from Roquan. I love he can just play. He can do everything at the linebacker position.
Jay Capone agrees with you. J-Rock, Ron, Nano, everyone saying A pluses out there. Oh man.
So
Renewable
Brad, I
says
mean,
A+.
you can't go B right here, Brad, can you?
Yeah. I am a man of my word. I thought that
Yeah.
it was too much. I didn't think that we needed to go not okay, here's the thing. It was the price for a premium shirt, basically. That's my feeling with it. Like, right? I think he's
Yeah.
great. I think that it's awesome. I just don't love that we paid premium price tag for a linebacker. But here's the thing. It's not eating me alive because do you know why? I'm going to have some fun watching this happen.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And I'm not the GM, and we have $44 million still in cap space, right?
Yeah.
This is good. And also, like when if he's able to play at the top of the market, that's what I want to see out there. So let me go to who I have as an A. This to me is a no-brainer A signing. That's a
Agreed.
boy from Wisconsin named TJ Edwards, entering his 5th season, 6'1", 242. The reason why I'm giving this an easy A, 3 years, 19 million. That's 6.66 million a year. I saw in the comments too that he supposedly he took less money because he grew up a Bears fan, right? Like it's crazy how much of Jack Sanborn he was. Like we said Sanborn was TJ Edwards, and now they're on the same team. But this guy's great. 159 tackles last season, 6.5 run stuffs, an 84.8 grade with PFF, 26 years old, went undrafted because of his athleticism, similar to Sanborn, like we said. Most likely, it sounds like he's going to be that weak side linebacker. His first season as a true starter, but just great in coverage, allowed the second best receptions when he was targeted, according to PFF, at 65.7%, and only 7.1 yards a reception when he was targeted. Great. Absolutely great.
Yeah. This is where it's like, this is a step higher from the Tremaine Edmonds. Obviously, I don't think he's as talented, so to speak, but like,
he's not a better player, but
but he fits everything perfectly. Yeah, super cheap deal. And I always love watching the interviews. I loved how he just loved being a Bear, and he just loved talking about, going to the games as a kid and meeting Brian Urlacher and just like all that stuff. And Brad, this kid is so excited to see like the run game. We will actually be able to stuff the run. I mean, like solely just on these linebackers, we'll actually be able to stop the run, because last year it was like once Sanborn was out, we had no run defense because our defensive line couldn't handle it, and then our linebackers besides Sanborn could not tackle. So it's like now we got TJ Edwards. I think of him kind of like Sanborn in a way where, they're they're not the most athletic, but I think he's faster, a little bit more explosive
Yeah,
than
I agree with
Sanborn.
that.
A little bit smaller of a neck, not as thick. Like he probably, could put his jersey on a lot easier. But uh but absolute amazing deal. It'll be so fun. This is what we wanted, Brad, to get some more Wisconsin and into the Chicago Bears team.
This deal is so good. I actually felt bad for TJ Edwards when I saw this because I'm like, dude, did you just like? I was like, I can't believe that he took that amount of money. But if I was a unathletic linebacker or like seen as that, I'd want to play for the Bears. And if they offered me $6 million, I'd be like, heck yeah! Like he was supposed to get 12, and he basically took half of that. And yeah, like just there's not much else we can say about this besides it just being a phenomenal signing. This was one of the most well linebackers that was out there. He can cover, he can play the run, and yeah, he had one true season of being the starting linebacker. Before that, he was playing, I think it was like 648 snaps and then like 490 something or 480 something. So
Okay.
he was still playing a good amount of snaps at linebacker. So it's not just like a 1-year wonder. That's why he's not flagged as that. I think that this is a great signing. And really, this linebacker group, it was our biggest weakness, really, because Roquan looked bad and Morrow could cover, but he couldn't cover the run. Now we got some big boys out there that can do it all and play every single snap, truly. But PayPal, A's across the board.
Yeah, that's an easy A. And I guess one thing too, I thought it was interesting just how he talked about how he really you liked when when he watched the Bears play when we faced the Eagles. Like we were contending against the Eagles last year, and I think he kind of spoke how that really was another reason why he came to this team, because he could see the fight. He could see that even though we only won 3 games, we were competing in every single game. I mean, we were not we weren't the worst team in the NFL. We just needed a few pieces.
Yeah. And I think that this is like when we were talking and doing all of like our mock drafts and talking about the draft, I know we were talking like Jack Campbell, we're talking all these linebackers overshown. And now I think how we're going to end each position group is now what, right? And I think honestly, you don't need anybody in free agency anymore because we have it. And Sanborn's probably going to be the Sam. And I'm more than fine with that. They only play like 20% of the snaps, and you have this linebacker as your backup. But yeah, A's across the board, A plus. Like it's because of the value. Like that's the big thing for me is you just got a very good player for a very cheap price. Masterclass. It was the best like first signing to get because as soon as I saw that, like I've said it before, like Brian Poles did nothing in free agency last year.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing to show you. Yeah. So it was epic when you see that as the first thing that comes through. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening type of deal. Like, yeah. And so, yeah, that was awesome to see, but let's go over to the defense.
The fan favorite, maybe
the fan favorite, the epic. We try not to swear on the show. We can't swear with what Demarcus Walker said about the Bears. But the next guy, Demarcus Walker, signed a 3-year, $21 million deal, so $7 million a year. He's coming from the Tennessee Titans, where he actually kind of played 50-50, 788 snaps in his career at D tackle and 820 snaps at defensive end. He was the 24th highest graded interior defender according to PFF, 3rd highest in pass rush productivity when he lines up on the left-hand side, and 25th highest run stuff percentage at 9.5% on the interior, 6'4", 280, and last year 7 sacks. It played 427 snaps and 32 tackles. PayPal, what do you feel about Demarcus Walker?
The first thing was now this is a question maybe you can just answer for me, Brad, real quick. Is he a defense? I just want to get clear. Is he a defensive lineman, or is he an edge player, or is he a defense interior? Because I always just saw him in the defensive interior. So, do you know the answer to this one, Brad?
So that's where, like, on my graphic, I put defensive line because
Yeah, yeah,
that's where, like, on the Titans, he played more D end and he played more on the edge, but that's where really he's split the reps 50-50. But that's also where I really like this signing too. When you're a bad team, right? Like we can all say the Bears were bad last year. We got 3 wins, right? When
mhm,
you need to add talent, I like a signing like this because as you saw in the press conference, for those that didn't watch it, he's just fired up. He's motivated. He believes that he's here for a purpose.
mhm,
And I think he's going to play both. The way that I see him is I see him as like a first down, second down defensive end,
yup,
and then a third down pass rusher on the interior. And what I love about this too is it does give you versatility. We'll talk about Andrew Billings, who the Bears signed. I think that he gives you tremendous versatility with what you can do in free agency because now you can go out and sign a Yannick Ngakoue who won't defend the run worth a darn, and Demarcus Walker can really kind of be in on the running downs for him. And then
mhm,
now I really like this signing because of his versatility. And yeah, at $7 million a year, that's not breaking the bank. That's a reasonable price deal for someone who showed a lot of upside. And yeah, he's only 28 years old. So another young, like Ryan Poles wasn't having anybody over 30.
yeah, yeah. He's about the oldest guy, and that's where I kind of noted. I'm like, maybe this is one of the guys that can kind of add that veteran presence. Like you saw him in his interviews, like he believes he's a big talker, like he's very intelligent, and I think this is someone that he'll definitely help, like you were saying, like in the pass rushing game and just run stuff in and be very versatile. Um, but also just be that locker room guy and really teach because he was talking about how he's learned from like big names like Jarrell Casey, um, how to prepare and how to be a pro. So I really think just the way he acts and his attitude, I think he will definitely take these younger guys and hopefully wake Travis Gibson the heck up
Yeah.
and actually like be like, hey, bro, like what are
Do
you
something.
doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, do
do
something.
something out there.
Like prove yourself. Like you were supposed to be kind of the guy, and then you just kind of fell off. And
And
yeah.
And I want to say this, right? We're talking glowingly of Demarcus Walker right now. I will say this, though, too. I think if he is your starter, like your true starter, I think we'll be disappointed. But I think if he's playing a rotation and Poles does what we kind of said and adds some of these talented people around him, and then you have more of a rotational piece, it's nothing against Demarcus Walker. I think then you have more of that versatility where he can play on the outside, he can play on the inside. He's good against the run, he's good against the pass. I like the flexibility that he gives you. But yeah, I don't think he should be like every down, always out there,
Hmm.
full-blown starter. I think that's where it's a very good signing too cuz if somebody falls to you, let's say a Will McDonald, right? Will McDonald out of Iowa State, very good pass rusher, little undersized. So we would see if he could be a 4-3, but he's a very speed rusher. And I think if someone drops to you or you get a defensive end in the draft and as you build the D line, Walker allows you to really be flexible. So that's where I do really like this pickup. Um, and just because you got A, B, C, I'm giving this a B. I don't love it as much as like TJ Edwards. I think that was so perfect. I have very
Hmm.
high A standards. Demarcus
Hey.
Walker to me is B, as in like that's good. Like I approve.
Yeah, I gotta agree. This is my first B. Like I think I was tempted to even do A again. Like I'm just so excited about the Bears and what they're doing and just kind of the potential of this team. Um, and I really do think Poles is doing the right thing and not really overspending. I think I get way too giddy, and I think a lot of Bears fans get giddy of like just pay the highest guy or like why
Yeah.
aren't we getting all these tackles that why aren't we getting all these guys? But he's spending it very methodically, and it's like I trust him. I think he knows what he's doing. But I got to go with B2. Like 7 million, I wasn't like completely like, oh, that's nothing, but it's still a decent amount of money where it wasn't an amazing sign like, TJ Edwards. But I'm overall happy with this signing, and I think he all these guys so far are just great people in general too, just
Yeah.
like, character wise, they're all just great individuals.
What I like about this year too is he's actually like Ryan Poles is actually signing people that are on top 100 lists or like top 200 lists. Like last year, I remember going, who is Lucas Patrick? And like, who's this guy? And that's one thing that I really do like is he's signing people that are actually on those lists. Well, last year, it's like, yeah, we knew that some of these people weren't going to be that good. And he was giving out money to people that he shouldn't have. And I think this was a good signing overall. Yeah, Ron's saying NFL Network made the Bears winners in free agency. I'm seeing that everywhere, which is really good. And it's because of these deals. Like we said, the largest deal was the only way that you could knock it is because they paid premium for essentially a quote unquote non-premium position, but they didn't overpay. Like that was what he was supposed to get on the open market, and he hit that number. So that's where I thought it was good. But PayPal, one of the things that I really, really like out there was so I was prepping for the show. So I was eating some lunch, and sometimes I like to just think about the show. I like kind of pull up my phone and I'm just seeing like what's out there. And I was like, you know what the Bears really need? The Bears need a run stuffing defensive tackle. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, they need a run stuffing defensive tackle, a fat boy that PayPal loves.
Fat boys.
We needed a fat boy to just literally stuff the run, because Philip was talking about this. There's some 3 techniques out there. Kalijah Cansey that could really kind of wreak havoc in the draft. So I was like, do you know who I would like the Bears to get? I'm like, either Ashawn Robinson, who's just a big run stuffer, or Andrew Billings. And literally like 30 minutes later, I see it come through. Bears sign Andrew Billings, 1 year, $3.5 million. And I was just kind of like, dude, so 6'1", 311, 7th season. He's played on a lot of different teams. And when you have this big body, like this is something that I like getting, because you never know how strength is going to transfer over from college. And that's actually why Andrew Billings ended up falling in the draft. He was supposed to be one of the top defensive tackles. I don't know if anyone remembers that draft. You just saw Andrew Billings at the top and no one was picking him up. He was supposed to be like a first-round pick and went, I believe, in like the 4th or 3rd, fell. And it was because he's 6'1". So that's really small for someone who's supposed to be this nose tackle, but he is a run-stuffing one tech that we need in this defense. I love this signing. Also last year, 72.3 run defense, 19th according to PFF out of 127 defensive tackles. He also got a 76.4 overall grade, which was 16th out of 127 defensive tackles. ESPN also gave him the 7th highest run stop win rate for defensive tackles at 41%. This guy's great on the run. PayPal, 2 sacks last year, 39 tackles, 6.5 run stuffs, 28 years old. I think he's turning 29 in like a month, but
yeah,
or he's like either just turned it or he's turning 29 in a month. I think he just turned it. But PayPal, what say you about Andrew Billings?
Hey, he's under 30. That's all that matters in Pole's eyes, but I mean, his size, and why the heck is he not? Why can't they have 00 as a number? I think 00 would be a perfect number on a big boy like this. Brad, I mean, this is my dream. I love those big boy nose tackles, and they just always take up so much space, and it's just so fun having a guy that can just wreak havoc in the run game. And I miss that so much, where Justin Jones would maybe do it, once or twice last year, where, he would get behind the first line of the offensive line and then get a tackle for a loss. I don't remember the last time that that happened so rare last year. And having someone like this just creates those opportunities for our amazing linebackers that we just signed to, get in there, get some pressure while he's taking 2 guys. Like, it's an insane signing. And I think you kind of forget his like, he's definitely a big run stuffer, but he can also, he does have 2 sacks, and I imagine he didn't play too many passing downs. Like he can take up, he can, if you run a stunt over that guy, I mean, he can probably take 2 blockers too, just with his size. So I I love this guy.
he he has a surprising number of sacks, like 2 last year, 2 in 2019. He sat out 2020 for like he was one of the COVID opt-outs, and then 3 in 2018. So, yeah, like he's not racking them up like crazy, but seriously, when he's been healthy, he's been good. And this is what the Bears need, like you were alluding to, especially when you have linebackers like they do. When you have good linebackers, their best friend is someone who can take on 2 guys. This is the Spice Adams, and then now we just need a Tommy Harris to kind of break some stuff up. And maybe Walker, I don't think Walker's going to be elite like that, but this allows you flexibility because now in the draft, you can get one of those 3 techs, or when I was looking at him, Adibare out of Northwestern projects to be a 3 technique as well, and he's someone that you can get in the second round. So I like this signing. I like it because now you have someone that can anchor, that can really kind of stuff up. And everybody that I feel like we've been signing have been upgrades over the previous ones, right? TJ Edwards, upgrade over Morrow. Then you have Walker, upgrade over Al-Qadim Muhammad. Billings, upgrade over Mike Pennell, right? Who was kind of a starter out there, unfortunately. I think overall, like he's a very good run stuffer, very good person out there. I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but let me see what else we got out there. So Andrew Billings, like we said, good. But PayPal, do we still feel like the Bears need to do more on the D line?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
sorry, I forgot to do grades. Yeah, I'm giving him a B.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think B is kind of the what we all think here. But yeah, I agree. I think we still need pass rushers. I think that's the big thing on the ends. I mean, we still got to fill both the sides still. Like I truly don't think any of these guys on the line, like you said, are like going to be starters the entire time. They're not going to be on the field the entire time. Like we need those rotational players. And I think that's what Coach Eberflus is trying to do. That's what Poles is trying to do. And thankfully this draft is kind of stacked with those type of guys that we need on the edge. And some of them go pretty far back. And I don't know how your feelings are with Jadeveon Clowney. I liked it at first, but now really looking at the comp of this team, I don't know if we necessarily need him. I guess I would be happy if we did get a Clowney, but I don't think it would be like, oh my gosh, like we need this kind of run stuffing edge player on our team.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of Clowney just because he's very good at stuffing the run. That's my only thing about him is he's a low-key, very good run defender, which gives you flexibility to get someone like a Justin Houston. And honestly, I kind of like Justin Houston because if you can get Justin Houston out there, he can kind of do it all. He's definitely more of a pass rusher. But I like the idea of at least getting like what I like about Jadeveon Clowney, what I like about those run stuffers is first off, it's the most painful thing in the world, as we found out last year, when someone can just run all over you and you just can't get anybody, right? So that's why I kind of like the idea of a Jadeveon Clowney. But really, to me, it's 3 people. It's Clowney, it's Houston, or it's Yannick. I think Yannick Ngakoue too, because I think any 3 of those, I like the idea because Clowney can at least like stop the run. He's not a great pass rusher, but I like that. But yeah, otherwise Houston and Yannick. Houston you could probably get for cheap, and Yannick you could probably get as well. But also too, we have like 44 million in cap space. We could easily sign one of these guys. And
Right. Yeah, like a 1-year deal, 2-year, kind of see how they do.
Totally.
Kind of play for their salary or play for next year to be on this team or wherever they want to go. Like I can't even like Calais Campbell. I think he's a fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how like old he is now exactly of it.
Dude, he's like 37. Like
Yeah.
he literally, like, I saw him talking during an interview. It feels like he's gonna fall apart any moment, but he's just a giant. He's just a
Yeah.
mammoth.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah, he's like 6'8", like
yeah,
300 something
300
pounds.
pounds.
So that's where, hey, maybe he's just a special teamer we'd bring out there to block kicks. But
And
he's it's one of those things. It just comes down like I wouldn't hate having him. It's just like, all right, don't spend that much money on him, or like just the contract has to be good to get someone like that.
yeah, it'll be interesting. But Philip's saying Ngakoue would be a better fit in the Eberflus defense. He was out there,
Yeah.
right? And then also you have Chirac saying, what about a trade for DeForest Buckner? I actually did that in a mock draft. Like, what if we traded for him? I love that idea because I think if you can get him, there's no penalty against the Colts if they do trade him. So you get him, and now you have a disruptor. If they got Buckner, like trade a second, right? You give away a second, get Buckner in return.
We'll give you Justin Jones. We'll
Yeah,
throw
but
him in.
I do think though that, like what Derek was saying, Poles is playing chess out there. I do think everything that he's doing, he's not focused on this year. He's always
Oh yeah.
focused. He has this giant plan put together where essentially tank, and now everyone that he's signing is very specific. It's good deals. He's not overpaying, trying not to overpay for anybody. He's got his number, and that's it. So
Oh yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
he's just like Emperor Palpatine, you know. He's setting up, he's getting the clones, and then he's gonna execute Order 66, and we're gonna
Yeah.
win a Super Bowl.
And slam. Yeah. Just absolutely destroy everybody. I like it. I like it. I like it. But PayPal, that's the defense. We got to switch over to the offense. And right before we do, if you want to bet on sports and if you want to bet with America's favorite sports book, you can use betus.com. Use promo code unbearable for PayPal. 125% back
Oh my
on your
gosh.
first deposit. That's crazy. So if you are good at sports betting and you win a lot, that's a perfect deal for you. But also, next, if you want to get in the best shape of your life, use the link down below and get some Transparent Labs. Look at PayPal chugging it, hyped up on nothing but pre-workout. But
Oh yeah.
Transparent Labs, like the name entails, tells you everything that's inside that you are putting into your body. Great stuff. I use it myself and can't suggest it enough. But PayPal,
Hey,
yeah.
I gotta, shout out to Renewable. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I got the Star Wars water bottle right here where it's got the Death Star and the TIE Fighter. So Brad, your kids love it. They always like, oh my god, TIE Fighters. And
I
big Star
do.
Wars fan. Yeah, your kids love Star Wars as well.
So yeah, my son's birthday is this weekend, and his birthday party, and he's got a Star Wars birthday. And yeah, we're trying to find younglings or whatever they're called, like
Oh yeah.
the beers, but we can't find them anywhere because we're going to be killing younglings. But my son doesn't get that, so we're going to have the youngling beers. And we're just going to be chugging some, and we're going to be killing younglings. So
Classic.
may the force be with you too, Renewable.
Yeah, may the force be with you.
So we got to stop nerding out and nerd out on some Chicago Bears. Let's start with the offensive line, where the Bears signed Nate Davis, the right guard out of UNC Charlotte, who played for the Titans. We saw a lot of Titans people out there. This guy is 26 years old, 3 years, $30 million, and last year had a 76.9 zone blocking grade, which is very good for PFF. I want to say that it might have been like top 10, top 15, very good run blocker in the zone. His overall run grade 69, nice 0.8, and pass grade 66.8. And he's 6'3, 316, only has played right guard. But PayPal, what do you think of this?
Yeah, 10 million at first, I was like, oh, that's kind of, I don't know. At first it felt like a lot for me for some reason.
Really? I thought it was reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. And after seeing his interview, his highlights, and just everything about him, I think it's an A around. Like he is like the perfect, he fits our scheme a lot. I mean, he just came from the Titans. They run a lot, and they would actually run quite a bit of screens, running back screens, and kind of have their guards come outside, for like a like pull and like start blocking for running backs. So he is so dangerous on, when he pulls out and just starts blocking. He's insane, like open field. So his speed, his strength, he's got all of it. And he's fun to watch, like some of his highlights. There's a video out there of like saying he's like why he's a top 3 offensive guard.
Oh,
And
man.
I honestly, hey, I'm on the hype train for that because he looks really good.
I will say, as soon as he got signed, Taylor Lewan was saying, "You guys got a beast." And also, I kick myself because I didn't say enough about him when we did the offensive preview for the free agents. Because to me, Nate Davis was one of the most reasonable deals out there. He was projected to get 10 million, and he got 10 million a year, right? Very good price for him, young, and also, yeah, one of the best zone blockers, phenomenal scheme fit. I watched him go against the Bills because I wanted to watch Tremaine Edmonds, and anytime that they ran to his side, the line was moving. Like, he can block, he can play zone phenomenally. Great scheme fit out there. And the only thing that kind of came up, or the only kind of negative that I did see, was 96.75 pass block efficiency. That's not great at the guard position, so just have to watch that. Can he make sure that he gets that under wraps? Because that's not a great pass block efficiency on the interior. It's not bad, but it's not great.
And Brad, I think can Poles go 2 for 2 for like offensive lineman? Can he, after Braxton Jones? I think we can all say Braxton Jones is the left tackle, and he did phenomenal for a 5th round. He's a starter, and he played great. But Nate Davis, I think I just got to trust Poles at the end of the day. Of like, I think he knows his offensive lineman. He seems super smart, and the film kind of I was watching with him, you can really see he does like those little things of making sure his body is in the right position and really uses leverage, and that's where you kind of get these good guards into those great guards. The great guards are the ones that really know how to use their leverage and their size, and then like only the ones that are good / average kind of don't really know how to do that. So I think a signing, I really like this guy.
Yeah, I think overall for me, he is, to me, he's good. I don't think he's ever going to be a Pro Bowler. I don't know. I just don't think because he's not going to be like crazy, but he's always going to be good. And year after year, this guy was in the 70s for PFF grades, which is honestly a good thing to look at when you're looking at offensive line, because nobody grinds the tape on offensive line.
Yeah.
And when I watched him, he's a very good guard, and he's a very solid guard out there for multiple years. Very, very good. Very, very safe signing. Like I said, I'm a tough grader today because you just completely blow me away. I'm giving him a B, as in like, that's very good. Like a very good signing, I think, overall. But we got to talk about the offensive line as a whole, because I think when Nate Davis was signed, it blew this up, and we're seeing it in the chat too, right? Like, is he a left guard? Is he a right guard? Because we have Tevin Jenkins, and today, I'm so glad we recorded today, not yesterday. Because today, Ryan Poles said, he's never said this before until today, he's open to the idea of moving Cody Whitehair to center, which I think is what most of us Bears fans wanted to hear. Because if you have Cody Whitehair at center, Nate Davis at right guard or left guard, and Tevin Jenkins at right guard or left guard, and then you draft, right? Like if you draft a tackle at 9, I like that. Now you can easily get a tackle at 9. You can easily get Skoronski. You can easily get Paris Johnson. There's a lot of good talent at this tackle position if that's the way that the Bears want to go. So I think that they can easily do this. And if you get that tackle and you like Whitehair as your center, and you have him and Lucas Patrick duke it out, this is a good line.
Yeah, I love having. Thank God Mustafar's out there. I mean, we can just thank God
pour one out.
Yeah, pour it out for Mustafar. Hey, another Star Wars thing. We always talk about. We always like to say Mustafar rather than, is it I don't even know how to say his name right anymore. We'll just say the planet from Star Wars. But with this offensive line, like, I think that I'm so glad you said that, where, yeah, with polls and everything, it's like, yeah, he's finally going to move, Whitehair to center. The idea of it is, like, for me, I was like, okay, Tevin Jenkins, I think people are talking about, oh, Tevin Jenkins moved to left guard or whatever. I think Tevin Jenkins is going to be right guard. You saw how well he played. He was a top guard playing at that position, where, he has Mustafar and then Borum, who really wasn't that great last year. And he really shined out of that right side of the offensive line.
I will say one thing, not to cut you off, but
Oh, no worries.
Tevin Jenkins, though, one thing that I'm curious about was Ryan Poles. I forgot what show this was on, but he did an interview with the Bears show, and he said the thing that surprised him the most last year, or like it was a question along those lines, was he didn't think Tevin Jenkins was a guard at all. Like his projection, his scout, he thought that he was just a tackle. He could never play guard. And that also kind of adds a little bit of color where, okay, you were failing at tackle, we'll trade you, right? Or that's what like the rumors were buzzing around. So it adds a little bit to that. Part of me is like, did they make this Nate Davis signing because they were after a Mike McGlinchey? Mike McGlinchey's price got ballooned up to like close to 19 million, and Poles backs out. And then he goes, well, you know what? I'm going to sign Nate Davis. Was Nate Davis always the plan, or was Nate Davis kind of a backup where now you have Tevin Jenkins at right tackle, and maybe they still love Lucas Patrick? I know we don't, but they Getsy might still say that he needs to be healthy and he can be the guy. So that was something that I was a little like curious on, is do they still think that Tevin Jenkins could play right? Because then if you can play right tackle, do they instead get like a Darnell Wright in the second round out of Tennessee who can play right tackle? And whoever dukes it out there wins the starting right tackle spot. Tevin Jenkins leaves in free agency and they keep Darnell Wright. Right? Like there's a couple different things, but I think it'll be clearer in the next upcoming weeks, because when we go into the draft, now we'll know, okay, we got to draft someone.
Yeah. Hey, all I know, I think Tevin Jenkins, he brings. I always talk about the locker room, I swear, but like he brings that fire of like, we are protecting our quarterback no matter what. He is like, he is the damsel in distress, almost, of like, we're protecting you from anything. Like, you are not getting past us.
Yeah.
And like you could see it last year, like if they hit Justin Fields late, if they did anything, he was the first guy, if he was out there, of course, and not injured, or actually playing, because that was weird. But yeah, I like how he brings that. And two, it was just a little thing he did. I mean, on Twitter, he just like tweeted out to Montgomery when he left. He's like, I wish I could have done more for you. And it was just like,
I saw that.
He's very emotional, which I really like to see from, just our offensive linemen. Like these sweet big old teddy bears.
Also, we got a question, Alex Leatherwood too. Like what's going on with him? I think like they saw him and they're like, this dude's a project, right? And like kind of keeping him on the side. I think it's more of, I think the big reason why they haven't cut him is because of the cap hit. His entire contract is guaranteed, so they're going to take on a lot if they ended up cutting him. So I feel like they're going to wait until the offseason to be like, did you get good? And if you suck, then
wouldn't that be a shock if they didn't get a tackle and then Leatherwood just
like Leatherwood comes out of freaking nowhere.
Just balling out at right tackle. That would be crazy. I wouldn't be opposed to it, because then we wouldn't have to find another tackle, and you'd be actually worth the money then. But
we got Boo out there saying Cody Mouch. Yeah, like that's another good second round guy that can play everything. There's some talent. Like we said, we need 10 second round picks and we'll be able to turn this ship around. So we'll see with everything what we could do. But yeah, I think overall offensive lineman, Nate Davis, we'll see. I think if anything, they should build more so in the draft now, because if you're trying to like sign an offensive lineman, you're really kind of grasping at straws with this.
Mhm.
Like Isaiah Wynn, Taylor Lewan, it's like I'm almost like, let's just go into the draft unless
I
they feel
agree.
like they can truly get a right tackle. And also, you heard it today from Ryan Poles. He didn't want Orlando Brown because he wasn't a scheme fit. So I was getting my hopes up because like there was the person that posted that the Bears signed him, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Bears signing him to like 20 mil. And I was like talking myself into it. So when I saw it, I was taken off guard. But yeah, I think overall it makes the most sense. They're
Hey,
not overpaying, they're not doing anything like that.
Brad, do we keep it with the Tennessee train and just get Taylor Lewan?
I
But
just
I don't know. I don't. I would trust Poles if he did get Lewan, but I wouldn't be
I think
just
Lawan's also
big.
said that he's a left tackle. Like I don't think he
Yeah.
wants to change. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna end up going. But now we got to keep on going to some more offensive players. Let's go. Let's see. Let's leave the running backs for last. I think running backs
Ah,
we got. Yeah, we're gonna leave running backs for last. Let's go PJ Walker. Okay, I was looking at my
oh,
stuff.
I
PJ
love
Walker.
PJ.
PJ Walker, fourth season out of Temple, 5'11, 210, age 26, or 26 or 28. I
28.
yeah, 28. I need to get better font on these graphics because the sixes and eights look exactly the same. But 3 touchdowns last year, 3 interceptions, 73 yards, and they just cut Trevor Siemian, his PJ Walker's deal, 2 years, 5 million, so 2.5 million per. He was the best quarterback in the XFL before the COVID shut it down for the Houston Roughnecks. Athletic quarterback, so really kind of matches Fields. 64.4 offensive grade in 2022, and DJ Moore's teammate last year. PayPal. Anything you got to add into PJ Walker? He is
Hey,
a backup quarterback.
yeah, backup quarterback. I mean, I just look at like three. I mean, there's just the contract is the big thing for me. Like 2.5 million a year, perfect. Not that much,
Yeah, totally.
but you're still getting a good backup that fits the scheme finally. Um, and you can tell he just fits. He knows what his role is of being a backup. He said it. I can't wait to be the best backup quarterback in the
Yeah.
league. And so he knows his role. He even talks about how he wants to basically learn from Justin Fields, which is interesting. But DJ Moore teammate, like he fits all the check marks of he just fits in the system. He's got that dynamic now with Dante Foreman. Um, so it's perfect. I love PJ Walker when he was in the XFL.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was so much fun to watch. And then when he came to Carolina, I was like, I messaged one of my friends that he's big fans of the Panthers and stuff. And I was like, watch out for PJ Walker. He never really exploded in the NFL like I thought he would. But I mean, it's not like that's still in him. Like he has a phenomenal deep ball. He kind of has that he can make those plays happen. I think he just falls like he can't run an offense as well as you'd want, but he has those highlight plays.
And I still feel like a lot of these picks that we've done last year, I kind of want to play back what I said last year about some of these free agents where I wasn't a big fan of what the Bears were doing because I'm like, who the heck is Justin Jones and why did we give him all that money? And we did all these bad moves. It seems this year I like everything that we've been doing. PJ Walker, we've been saying you need a backup quarterback that matches what Fields can do. And I think this also speaks volumes because I think the Fields running game is still going to be a thing. Probably not to the same extent, but this move at least shows, hey, we need a more mobile quarterback than Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian, good passer, but I think that the offense is going to feature a lot of running with PJ Walker and, because PJ Walker is being added in, not to the same extent. Hopefully we don't run for 1,000 yards with our quarterback, but I really like the idea of this. And This is the first one that I'm really like, I might give this an A because I think that this is what the Bears needed to do. Like, and PJ Walker, not a phenomenal quarterback by any means, but I think about you're paying him a small amount of money where I'm like, okay, if you got Marcus Mariota, you would have probably had to pay like 6 or 7 million a year, right? So you have a cheap backup that matches your quarterback, and this gives you the flexibility to now draft a one like in the 6th round, 7th round, or like as an undrafted free agent that can match this as well. I like it. I really like it. So you know what? Because I haven't given out many A's, I'm giving this an A because I love the contract and I love the fit in the system.
Hey, Brad, you talked me into it. I mean, I don't give A's too much. I don't give too many. I'm not an easy grader around here, but you took the words out of my mouth. I think he deserves an A, and he's one of like the high A's on my list of contract fits, all that stuff we talked about. He's got everything, and I'm excited. Like I like being excited. Like obviously I'd be so disappointed when Justin Fields gets injured or, if he's out of the game, but I feel a lot happier having someone like PJ Walker where he can at least do something at quarterback. And, it's like, oh, Trevor Siemian. Yeah, he does well, but he's not fun to watch.
Renewable out there, BJ and BJJ out there. I still like every time I see Bayless, I just think of you renewable with BJJ as his initials. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, so yeah, like let's keep this train going with the tight ends. Yeah, because obviously we don't need another quarterback. Tight end just signed. I don't actually have the details of the contract yet. I'll probably look it up just to see if it's actually come in while you're breaking this down, PayPal. But Bears signed Robert Tonyan. I know last year he was a free agent. That was kind of brought up as maybe bring in Tonyan because he understands the offense and can help train Komet. They bring him in this year, 1-year deal. He's entering his 6th season, 6'5", 240. He's 29 years old. He's the one that turns 29 in a month. But last year, 53 receptions, 470 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns from the Packers, has experience in Luke Getsy's system, 11 touchdowns back in 2020. Now, his run block grade, 46.3. That's not good. That got me a little nervous, but he has been a starting tight end. Not known for his blocking necessarily for the Packers. I like it. I like this as just an overall backup, but what say you, PayPal?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect fit. That's someone I wanted. I wanted Robert Tonyan. One of my friends actually went to high school with Robert Tonyan, so he's always a big Robert T fan and stuff. And I think it's fun. I hope he does well on the Bears, just to rub it into Packers fans when they're defeated last year and they maybe get 1 or 2 wins or something. But yeah, the run blocking is obviously kind of disappointing to see because as a backup tight end, I think you kind of want your backup tight end not to be a receiver. You want them to be that guy that goes in and just kind of blocks, maybe gets 1 or 2 catches. They just do their job in the passing game. So that's something I'm kind of disappointed for. Maybe they can teach him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Cole Kmet can give him some pointers or something, and maybe he'll get better. But that's definitely a concern, and I do like him in the passing game. I mean, he was Aaron Rodgers' like favorite target. Like a year. Yeah, like it was like a year he was just going off. So yeah, I'm excited for him and good signing.
I think for a backup tight end, everyone in the chat giving it like a B plus. I got to give it a B as well. What say you, PayPal?
Yeah, I would do an A if he was good at, recognizably good at run blocking. But yeah, if he can't run block, that kind of goes down to a B for me. And at 8, it's a low B. It's like nearing a C for me, just solely because of that.
What I like too also is the Packers can't have him, and also the Jets can't have him. So
yeah,
I really do like it. Like when you're talking about a backup tight end, he's an upgrade. Like we've said, everybody's been an upgrade. To me, he's an upgrade over what we had with Ryan Griffin. He's an upgrade
Yeah.
over O'Shaughnessy, who just didn't play. Like, I think that that's where, to me, this is a good signing because, yeah, he has been a starter. Now he's going to be a backup. So, yeah, if Komet, God forbid, goes down at all, you don't feel that bad. You don't feel, obviously, you want him out there, but you at least have a good tight end that you can throw out there. And I really like him as 1-2 tight ends. I
Yeah.
really like that pairing, especially in the red zone, too.
And just a lot more threats out there in the passing game. I mean, we have a lot of threats now in the passing
Yeah.
game, which is awesome.
Well,
So
I
it's like,
remember.
who are you going to guard? Like, you can't like, oh, all right, DJ Moore is on this team now. Let's just double cover him. Like, and there's times last year where it's like, all right, Mooney's out. So it's like, who do they have to throw? The only person that has a connection with Justin Fields is Cole Kmet. So I imagine they just covered him.
And yeah, and I remember too when we had Clay Harbor on the show when we were breaking down the tight ends in before the season started, he was kind of saying that to him, Komet, like he always tries to just run away, but it seems like with Tonyan, he understands where to be in the zones. He understands how to be open in the red zone. So I do think that that gives us a lot of versatility in that red zone. So yeah, B for me for the signing. Let's go next to we got to go to the running backs. Now, first off, pouring out David Montgomery, no longer Chicago Bear, going over to the Lions now, ultimately for $6 million. Now, Bears ended up signing 2 running backs to kind of replace his production and also let Darrington Evans go as well. Did not sign the tenor on him. I was a little bit surprised by that, but what they did is they bring in Travis Homer, running back from originally from the Miami Hurricanes. He's entering his 5th season, played all 4 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks, signed a 2-year, $4.5 million deal max. So he's got a lot of incentives out there. So $2.25 million a year. And as soon as he left, I saw Seahawks fans saying he's a very good pass blocker. They're going to miss his pass blocking. And I'm like, heck yeah, let's go. Very solid. I think he's going to be the 3rd running back on the team. Last year or career, he has 83 rushing attempts for a career 453 rushing yards, career average 5.5, only 24 years old, really kind of known for a straight line speed, which is 4.46. So not phenomenal, but not bad. Very good straight line speed, but yeah, definitely not the replacement for Monty. I threw that in when we originally signed him and not Deontay, but PayPal. What's you feeling on Homer?
Hey, another young guy, 24 years of age. Brad, I don't know what it was. I love Travis Homer. I don't know what there's something in my mind. I was like, why do I just have Travis Homer like in my I was like, why do I love him so much? Like I was like so excited about the signing, but I think we faced him in preseason and he just had an incredible game. Like he just looked so much better than all the other kind of, third string scrubs out there and all that. So I think I really like him, and honestly, Poles kind of actually alluded to it in his interview of like, yeah, you guys might know him from the preseason game. So I love him. Yeah, great. He says he's the best pass blocker in the entire NFL
He
from the
said
running.
that?
Yeah, from the running
Oh,
back
man.
position. Obviously, not the.
Let's go.
He's not gonna be an offensive lineman or anything.
he's like, I'm actually playing. He's playing right tackle for us. Say we got him at $2 million a year. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. But and the thing too, it's like, okay, he's young, great pass blocker. Like Khalil Herbert, we know Khalil Herbert is not going to be doing that. And
Yeah.
then he prides himself in being the best special teamer too. Like he literally fits everything you want in kind of that third running back that doesn't play much, but when he does come in, like he's gonna give an impact. And it and maybe we talk about maybe talk about it later with Foreman, but like now with this running back group, it's like each one of them I can see kind of how they fit. Like, Khalil Herbert's the runner, the running all the time, and then Travis Homer's kind of that pass down guy. and then Foreman's kind of that grittier, kind of the Montgomery of like he'll give you the 3 yards type of thing. So
Yeah. I go back to like Benny Cunningham. Benny Cunningham, I always think about as like that third down guy that could do that. And yeah, it seems like here's our third down guy. And I like him. I'm seeing a lot of A's out there. And yeah, special teams ace. Like he's going to be good in special teams, just like Benny Cunningham. Like that's what you want out of your third running back on your roster. That's what we were hoping Ebner would have been, right? And I think that Travis Homer actually more so replaces some of Ebner. I think Ebner doesn't necessarily get cut. I think what ends up happening is that the Bears look in the draft, right? And can they get someone in the draft, bring him in, and is there someone that they like that they add into this too? So we'll talk about Deontay Foreman a little bit too, but yeah, I think overall, like, yeah, Phillips said it very well. Monty was great, hard runner, great pass blocker. Yeah, he missed, but yeah, it's easy to replace. And I think overall, I'm excited to see what this is all about. I'm excited to see these running backs. And yeah, Travis Homer, I'm going to try and pull up his preseason just to see if I can grab. Yeah, I got to see it.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, and to something I like with him in it, big interview guy. But he talked about how he specifically said that the Bears like were the team that wanted him the most. Like he had other teams that were kind of looking at him, maybe even the Seahawks, but like he's like the main reason why he came to Chicago was like the Bears really wanted him, and it seemed like polls really saw the value in him while other teams didn't. And why I think that's so important is like, I mean, I think it's just any sport that, I've played or, you've played of just like, if you have a coach or if you have kind of like that staff or whatever, and you're playing for them and like, if like what they see in you is, if they like you and they're really positive about you, you're going to play your butt off, you know? Like if there's a coach that it's like, all right, like I'll probably cut you in a year. Like you're not that good. You're just kind of a bench player, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, if they see, all this talent in him, he's going to play his butt off and love this signing.
It's so funny because it feels like the Bears actually signed the people they wanted to. It's like, what were they doing last year? Like this year, it's like they're signing good people. They're signing like the people that they want. And like, yeah, so it's amazing to see. But let's go to the most recent, the person that we said maybe about 30 minutes, an hour before we started recording, got signed. So thank God we went live at 7:30 like we always do. Deontay Foreman from UT, Texas Longhorns, 7th season in the league. I did not update his height and weight. He is not, in fact, 6'5", 240. Otherwise, that would be one crazy running back. He's 29 years old, 914 rushing yards last year on 203 attempts and 5 touchdowns. He's been a Texan for 2 years. He was a Colt, and you might have forgotten that because he tore his bicep when he was with the Colts and was out all season. 2 years with the Titans and 1 year as a Panther. Last year, 73.1 overall grade. Good. I want to say it was like right in the middle of the road for running backs, but really took a large workload after Christian McCaffrey got traded. Hey, pal, what's your feeling on Deontay Foreman?
Yeah, I like him. Like I was kind of alluding to before, like I just think he fits perfect. We needed that kind of powerful runner, that 3 to 5 yards that we kind of were going to miss from Montgomery. Like, I mean, Travis Homer, yeah, he was kind of the pass blocker, passing back, whatever you want to call him. And then Deontay Foreman, is it Deontay? I don't know. But
I always just say like Deonta, like Deonta.
Yeah,
Deonta
Foreman. But yeah, he kind of fits that missing piece of, when we're in the end zone or when we're in the goal line of like, this is the guy that will take us in the end zone. Khalil Herbert, that's kind of something, kind of his weakness. And we kind of filled both of his weaknesses of, not being a goal line runner and then also not being a pass blocker.
Yeah, for real. Like, yeah, Ron saying bulldozer, right? Like the dude
Oh yeah.
can, yeah. Yeah, never mind. He's laughing at my 6'5", 240. So, yeah, if only, right? But yeah, he is a bulldozer, even though he's not 6'5". But yeah, he is a big guy, and I like it. Yeah, he really does complement it a lot. And right now, you're set. And the best thing too, Nano's saying this, Panthers giving us a lot of great players. One thing that I
Yeah.
love too, they spent extra money on a running back with Miles Sanders, where I'm like, okay, fine, spend the extra money on him, right? I don't care. Like that helps us because I was never high on my personal thing. I didn't really like Miles Sanders, especially when his one season is one like the offensive line is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I'm more than fine with them signing that. Also, super cool news, Renewable guesting on Barroom tonight. Awesome.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone check
congrats.
him out. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah, I got to check that out too. I got to probably have that on. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, and then yeah, like Bears Bones saying Deontay could probably get us in the red zone or into the end zone from the red zone. So I like this. And yeah, like
Yeah, I
like
just know from fantasy, it was like he was the guy. Like
totally.
once CMC got injured or left, it was like
He was the dude.
he took over. Like these people were questioning, like, oh gosh, like is he going to be able to fill his shoes? Like he's not going to be able to put up like kind of the numbers that CMC was putting up, but he basically not exactly, but he did just as good of a job as CMC did.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree there. I think that he's every move. I think Boo said that up here. Like, haven't been upset about a deal. That's really it.
Yeah.
That's also why I was like for the Tremaine Edmonds. I was actually going to say C just because of like the cost of the premium stuff. I just wanted to be like, I can't be this positive. I can't be this like do something bad. Yeah, but it is. It's completely true. The only like a lot. I feel like we always try, like, yes, we'll be optimistic with it. We'll have fun, but I feel like we're not blindly optimistic. These have been good signings, and we're not overpaying for anybody. And I think that's the key piece with any of this. And yeah, we don't need running backs. Like if someone, like we said, drops in it, then yeah, awesome. I'm actually just gonna lump in the running backs and just say, I'm gonna say A. Why not? Just because Travis Homer and Deontay Foreman. And it also allows you to see what you have in Khalil Herbert. And you also didn't overpay for a non-premium position or didn't pay premium price for a not premium position at the running back position. So I guess what's your final grade on the running backs?
For the running backs, I mean, Travis Homer was an A. I mean, I think I don't know. Dante Foreman, I'm kind of B. I don't know. I like him. I guess I'll give an A. Just it is $3 million and it fills the role of everything. So it is interesting to think, yeah, like, okay, we spent $2 million on Homer, basically, what, two and a quarter, and then $3 million on Foreman. And then it was $6 million for Montgomery. So it's like, was it worth kind of, if we just spent that extra million to really get Montgomery back? I don't know yet, Brad. I really don't know yet. Like, I think I got to say it was worth it just because I think having someone like Homer, it's like he can fill the special teams as well and do more things. And then it's like Foreman will basically do it what Montgomery did in the running side of things. So, yeah, I think we made it. It's just hard when you have someone that's so close to like Chicago and the fan base leave.
Yeah,
and you can't put a price tag on that, Brad.
Yeah, and Philip out here talking about the 1980s Bears. Yeah, like, and he already knows, like, we haven't seen much of that because I was born in the 90s. PayPal was born in the 2000s, which is crazy to say. But, I think the biggest thing is with this new regime, I think this is what's so exciting, right? The things that they're doing seem smart. It seems like we're on the right pace. with the new president, new GM, new coaching staff, it's a really exciting time for us to be a Bears fan. And I'm thinking about, like, I think the Bears really don't need to sign much else. Like, on the offensive side, we talked about this. Like, I can't see them signing anybody else. Like, I can't see them signing a starting right tackle because there's not really anyone out there. Be nice for a center, but I could see them just being like, you know what? We're just going to draft someone. We're going to draft someone at the top of the draft. And on defense, I could still see them making some additions at defensive end and defensive tackle. So Sunday might be our first mock draft show of the season. I can't believe we haven't. We've talked about it, but like news keeps happening that we have to attend to. So that might be our first mock draft of the season. So stay tuned. Make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube. Also, make sure to download the podcast everywhere that you get your podcasts. Just search for Unbearable Sports. Make sure to rate 5 stars. It helps us out tremendously. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we're out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and